everyone.
Hey, hey, hey.
We are excited to be here tonight.
Welcome to After Hours here at Linda's Electric Quilters. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
This is going to be super fun.
Yeah, tonight we're going to be, we always have a great time.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to be talking about clamshells.
Yes.
And the clamshell book. We see in the comments from some of you that you have already received your book and you are super excited to follow along with us tonight. We are excited. But let's talk about the elephant in the room.
What elephant?
Somebody decided to get a little brave this past weekend. I don't know what's been going on with her. And dye her hair purple. See this? Stunning. I'm so proud. She's been my mother for, how old am I? 25 years. Never thought this would happen. Ever. I was shook. She sent me a picture, thought it was a wig. Swear. Promise. So tell us about your experience.
Well, you know, I just decided why not. I've always wanted to try purple hair or try colored hair in general, but purple was my color. But I was never brave enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know, like, the expectations, what would people think? Are they going to think I'm crazy or this wild person when I'm really not? I'm very conservative and quiet and organized and all this stuff. But part of me just wanted to jump out and do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
So
but
that's
just a lot.
I know.
They're loving it in the comments.
Anyway, but I love it, and the best part about it is it will wash out, and I'll probably go back to blonde again, but it's definitely worth a try.
Let's go for green next time.
Oh, we are not
Lime
doing that.
green, neon green.
No, okay.
We're doing it.
No.
I think we're going to do it.
We're not doing that. Okay.
Did you just try to decapitate me?
No. Oh, that meant like quiet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that did not. That's not what that meant.
That meant quiet.
You see what she did?
Quiet.
Next week, she won't have a co-host. All right. So what's up?
If you are new and you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Right down there at the bottom right-hand corner.
Yep.
After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified whenever we post new videos or whenever we go live here at After Hours.
Yeah, and don't forget to share with your friends.
Yes,
okay,
please.
So we always like to say, you know, have a snack, relax. So today...
Grab a snack and kick back.
That is right. So today we're going to ask her a quick, easy question before we jump into clamshells. And my question is, this is funny because it's just a very simple, stupid one that I came up with. Have you ever had a nutty bar? And of course, growing up, I called them Nutty Buddy.
No, she did not. My whole childhood is a lie. She has never once called those things Nutty Buddies. Y'all, she is lying right through her teeth.
Okay.
She has never once called them. Ask all my friends.
Summer.
You ain't never called those Nutty Buddies.
I have, haven't I?
Don't bring Summer into this. Don't bring Summer into this. These
have.
two. Don't bring Summer into this. Summer's got my back.
Okay. Anyway, so they're officially called Nutty Bars anyway, so that's fine. So the question is have you ever had one, and if you have, how do you eat it? So how do you eat it, Corey?
You just crunch right through it.
No, you don't.
Yes, you just go.
No, you take it apart.
I'm afraid to
just
bite.
Like
it's gonna
this.
be loud.
I know.
I can't.
You take it apart and savor every wafer. That's the proper way to eat
No,
it.
because there's not enough chocolate throughout the whole thing.
It's not about the chocolate. It's about savoring the peanut butter.
No, there's no peanut butter on that side, so it's just straight wafer.
That's on that side, though.
Girl, bye.
So how do you guys eat it? Because he's been battling me on this. He's always done it that way, where he would eat that. Well, you kind of, battling in a nice, fun way.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said, no, we have to take time and take it apart. You have to enjoy it. Anyway, so have your snack, relax, and we are going to show you some clamshell fun.
Whoop.
All right.
So we will bounce over to the machine real quick because I want to show them kind of what we're looking at today.
Alrighty.
And then we'll come back over here and we'll start drawing out a few different design ideas.
Awesome.
So we'll walk on over to our machine. And over here at the machine tonight, we will be using the Clamshell Stencil. So this is Stencil N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, 1953. So NA 1953. So it's got two clamshell designs stacked on top of it. We'll be using them in multiple different sashing sizes. And then we'll also be quilting inside of actual clamshells. So if you had like a whole clamshell quilt. And then if we have time, we'll come over here and plan a block if we have some time to do so. And then the clamshell book will be back here in a second. But let's go up front and play around with some drawing ideas. So what I've done here is I just grabbed a screenshot of a clamshell. I put it in a screen protector, and I've got a wet erase marker that I'm going to play with. And I'm going to open up my clamshell book, and we are going to be looking
And
tonight
just so
for
you
my
know, the
first
screen
one.
protectors you can get at any Office Depot, Office Max, places like that. I had a question in the comments last time about
Well,
what
the
we were
Walmart,
using.
anywhere.
Yeah, it's just a normal screen protector.
It is. All right, so we're going to be on page 26 tonight for our first one. So this is using that clamshell stencil, but then you're coming up to fill up the outer pieces, or the upper pieces, excuse me, with a feather design. And this is a really tall one, but I want to use the one here on the back of the book or on the front cover.
You're going to fatten it?
I'm going to fatten it out a little bit, make it a little smaller to fit inside of those smaller sashings. So using my clamshell stencil, I can mark that out with my pounce powder onto the fabric, and then I can stitch out that stencil, and I can go over it like this, come down to the center. And for the book itself, it shows us using 1, 2, 3, 4 feather plumes, a center one, and then 4 down the sides. Wow, what was that? So I'm going to take this one up. I'm going to come up with a nice little half teardrop. So it's 1 deep, coming back down deep to make that shape. 2, 3, 4, making a little droplet up top, coming over. And I'm not really good at going backwards sometimes. It's all about that muscle memory though. And then I can come up and work over to the next one. And I would work on that. If I wanted to have a nice straight line, this is where we could also use our straight line stencil, which we will be using, to follow that line up and know exactly where to meet back in the center. Because we want these to be, you know, as consistent as possible, so we want to have that nice straight line. So when we go over to the machine in a second, we'll use both of those stencils to accomplish that look all the way down.
Fun. That looks good.
Thanks. So I'm going to walk over to the machine, and I'm going to be in my smaller section here. And I am going to take my clamshell stencil, and you can see that these are really nice and big. Now, if you're working in a smaller sashing like this one, for instance, you don't have to use the whole piece. You can use these little dots to make sure that it's straight and line it up, and you can make it as little or as big as you'd like it to be. So I'm going to start with these, and I'll show you a little trick that I do. I'm going to take my chalk pencil, and I'll come over here a little more so you can see it. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these little dashes. And so I'm going to make a mark with my chalk pencil, and you can do it with an ink pen as well, but the chalk pencil will come off this plastic. And that's how I'm going to know where to keep going as I work down. So I'm going to set it up in my first section, make sure I've got 3 and 3. I'm going to take my pounce powder, give a nice little hit, and I'm going to take my pounce powder and just go over that top section, just like that, and then I'll just scooch over to make sure that they connect, but I'm not having to use the full stencil. So I can do that, scooch over, just like that. So it gives me a small little clamshell in that tiny sashing to work with. And then I talked about using a straight line stencil to make sure that they stay straight, or at least the feathers that I'm doing. So I want that straight line to go down the center of where those clamshells meet. When we're using our stencils, remember we're doing label down, so label down on the fabric. And I'm going to mark these to where they all go in alignment. And with the one that I used, I can use this 2-inch stencil, and that's the spacing already. It's already marked out for me with the size that I've chosen, so that helps. And I can just pounce across that. And that gives me a straight line up through every single one. Okay? And I can come over, if I want to use my chalk pencil to give myself just that first initial flow so I can figure that line out. We'll be starting here, so S. We're going to draw over using our clamshell and then come up, come back to that line. Oh, so much easier having that line. Take that, and for this one we only need about 3 feather plumes and then a little teardrop in the center. Come over with the other 3. Down, use that clamshell to continue over. Now, if we wanted to fill this spacing up a little bit more, you can make your feather plumes a lot larger. 2, 3, little teardrop in the middle. Come over, 1, 2, 3. Completely depends on how you want to fill up that spacing, or if you want to do one every other one like that. So small, large, for this one I'd be going back to small. So 3 feather plumes, a teardrop at the top, and then 3 feather plumes on the way back. That was, yeah. And come over. So let's go ahead and stitch that out. So I'm going to come over, start here, And I'm going to take a few single stitches to lock down my thread, just so it's out of the way. And then I can start my stitching. I'm in regulated stitching, 12 stitches to the inch. So following that, and then I can use my lines as a nice guide, teardrop, come back with those feather plumes, clamshell over. Remember, this next one was a little larger. Teardrop, 1, 2, 3, clamshell over, and then small ones again. Teardrop, and clamshell over. Just like that. So if I come in, I can erase all my chalk off so you can get an idea of what I'm looking at here. And that's one of the benefits of pouncing light, is that you can use your eraser and your chalk pencil just to erase all this chalk away. If you pounce really heavy, you might have to wash it off with a type of cleaner, maybe some water to get it off, depending on which chalk or pounce powder you're using. But with this, if I lightly chalk it, then I can just take this pencil and come through and clean it right out. So then I have those nice little ones. So you have a small, a wide one, then a smaller one. You can do that all the way down your this is a 2-inch sashing. So a nice filler all the way through that sashing all the way through.
Alrighty.
Diana, what you got for us?
I'm going to be a little more simpler because that's just who I am right now. No. No.
Coming from the lady with purple hair.
I know, but I'm going to keep it simple. So I'm actually going to work based on the line that he has stitched back there. I'm going to put my little lines in there, and I am going to do design on page 6. So I'm going to imagine that there's like already a clamshell type of design there, and I'm just going to put a simple one in the line just for sashing. So we're going to test it first. I love how the arrows are here to help me because I wouldn't really know where to start. So I'm going to come over here, and in my start, let me get over this camera a little bit better. I'm going to pull it up here, and I'm going to go in between. So I'm going to go use my line as my center point. Come back around, back on my line, and go back up, use it as my center point, and back down. Then I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to skip over one to make it arch like that. Go back around. Having to think too much about this one.
Oh, no, you're doing great.
Back around. So anyway, so that's the theory. Go up and down. I don't know. Should I do each one? Should I make a? I guess this depends on the lines
It's
that I have
completely
on
on you. Yeah, depends on whatever lines you put into it with your clamshell.
It's almost like a heart. That one was the best one.
All right.
But that's why we have these things to practice on. So my advice to you, dry erase, wet erase, sheet protectors. Practice, practice, practice.
Good job.
I keep wanting to go back up to that line. And then open up. And open back up. And then
there
back down.
you go. Just like that.
All right. So I am going to go over there and give it a shot.
Okay.
And
then I guess while you're doing that, I will head over there with you.
thank you.
Along with answering some questions that we've had and some comments. One lady in the comments stated that the Dollar Tree has those page protectors. We all love the Dollar Tree, all about saving $1. So those sheet protectors are available there to save $1. Thank you for that. We also had another comment about when you're working through the quilt, when you're working with borders, if you're working from left to right around the border, and then you're wanting to go perhaps maybe down the border, how would you accomplish that with making sure everything's staying symmetrical? Personally speaking, I will do my top border of my quilt, do whatever I need to do in the center of the quilt. I will do the bottom border of the quilt, and then I actually take the quilt off and turn it. I know it sounds a little crazy, but turning the quilt, one, allows me to make sure that everything is going to stay symmetrical when I'm working through the physical quilting process. It also just helps me, because I'm very OCD, just get right through it and figure it out. And I do that with both computerized quilting and hand-guided quilting. I'll take that extra 5 minutes and turn that quilt.
All right, so basically what I have here is I've got the 1-inch stencil that we carry, and I kind of just already pounced it out while Corey was talking, and then we're going to do the design after that. That kind of matches what I was doing up there too. So And we're pretending that we're keeping it the theory of we want it looking more like it's going to clamshell, but we're just using it simply as sashing. And I think I want to use the clamshell one too, actually.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I can keep it inside the center as well.
Yeah, you want to make
So
sure
use
you're
both of
following
them.
that line.
All right. So I'm going to line it up.
Putting that stencil down, making sure that label is down on that stencil when you're using it. And we've had a few questions about this in the past, so I'll go ahead and answer it again. For those of you that are watching new with us, why are we putting the label down on that stencil? We always get that question. These stencils, one side of them, i.e. the back side, has a little bit of a rougher edge to it, which catches that pounce powder and pulls it out of that little doohickey thing, for lack of a better term, that we're using to pounce that powder down. So with the label side down, it's going to grab it. If you accidentally leave the label up, it's okay. It's not going to hurt it. I'm not going to reach out the screen and slap you for not doing it. It just might not grab the powder as easily.
All right, here we go. I actually like the fact that I put the clamshells there because I can see my lines a little better.
For sure.
Okay, so here we go.
Go ahead.
Down, back up, around, down.
There you go.
And
then go to your middle line of that clamshell, touch that. It always helps if whenever you're going, if you say point when you stop. So that's how you know that you're keeping the machine stopping and you're ending up in that perfect point. And they're looking great.
Kind of didn't get the pounds right on that one, but.
So we're going down, coming back up to that point. All right.
I got hearts
okay.
now.
All right. We got something going on. This is a design choice. That's what Rita calls it. This is a design choice.
So, well, it's just a way. I think a way just to kind of, you can change it up the way you want. And actually, when you said the point theory, I was like, oh, the hearts actually might be easier. See? And then you just do the little loopy-doos.
For sure.
There's a way to change it. You know, to do sashing in there.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Okay. Corey, you want to show your next one?
Yeah. Let me come up here, and I will grab this out of the way. And I am going to take on another sashing idea. So in my book, let me grab my book real quick. I am going to do more or less a full-on clamshell quilt, kind of like I showed you earlier. So we are going to take a look at page 32. So we're going to be doing these daisies right here. So this has basically, you have your smaller clamshell here, but then this daisy goes up into the upper part of that clamshell above it. So they're kind of stacking on top of each other and working your way through it. So I'm going to grab this right here for us. There we go. That has these multiple clamshells. And starting here, you've got multiple different ways to do it, but you can see on our numbers here that we're starting with doing the actual clamshell itself, coming up doing the flower, and coming down. So you're doing the flower, and then you'll come through and do the little loop-de-loop that's there. Now, with this flower going up really high, we'll probably want to bring it a little low because we're going to have that loop-de-loop right over it. So we want to make sure that we're not crossing over our designs. So we'll start right here. So starting right here, we're going to come across our clamshell, just like that. And I'm going to come up and probably stop right about there. I'm going to start my circle. So I'll do my circle and then just add my little petals to this, just like that. Come back down and come over all the way. Come up right about there, make your circle so you have something to follow. Petal, 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 petal. Come down and you'll work that all the way through. So let me do that here as well so you have the idea of what I'm doing. So work through that really fast. Come down here, circle, petal around. So
you just picked my favorite one.
I know I did. You love this one. So I'm going to take this. So that was number 1. Number 2 is where we're going to be going into in between these to fill them up. So number 2, I'd be starting still here at the bottom of the clamshell, but remember the loop-de-loop was a little larger here, we want to make that a little smaller because we have that flower to take into account. So I'm just going to come up here, take that, and loop down. Up here, take that, and loop down. And you work that all the way across the quilt.
All right, let's see it.
Okay. I think you should do it. I drew it out, but I think you should do it.
I didn't practice like you practiced. I'm sure it'll look really good.
I think you should do it.
Oh my god.
I think you should do it. I remember you talking about wanting to do this one.
Oh.
So I marked it out. I think you should quilt it though.
Oh my goodness, but it's muscle memory, so that's not going to work.
Would you like me to do it?
I'll try one flower.
Okay.
So I'll try it.
So
oh my goodness, now you got me on the spot. Johnny on the spot here.
You want to start here or start here? Start here.
Like there and then go up into
and go up into the white one. Yep.
Okay. Nothing like putting your mom on the spot.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I do. So go ahead and start there. Yep.
Okay, walk me through it because that's a different practice. I'm looking at the picture.
Okay. So your first thing we're going to do is take our way and stop right here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what we're doing. So kind of like a little bit of a arch down.
And then you're going to go straight up.
And then stop about right here?
Right about there, yep. Make a circle. And begin to make your little petals. Just like that. Okay, come down.
Okay.
And now you're going to make your way all the way over to the pink one. So down here where all these colors intersect. Go straight up. Make yourself a circle. There you go. Make the petals on top of that. And come straight down.
And
just like that.
How do you come back?
You would stop that. You'd go all the way across.
Okay.
Yeah, you should
I'll
stop.
that so you can do something over there.
Yep. You can go up and you can go ahead and pull up your threads if you want to, or just travel to right here and go backwards with your loop-de-loop to fill in the top section.
Okay. So then up to here.
So then you're going to make your loop. So go ahead and stop the machine so we can draw it out.
Thank you.
So we'll come this way. We're staying a little bit above our flower petal. Loop-de-loop to the top and come down. Come up, loop-de-loop, and down.
Oh, okay.
Just a little something to fill in the space. Loop, and down. And then do the same thing. Loop, and down. Just like that.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
No. See, nothing that wasn't being put on the spot.
Pressure.
Nah.
You could also, if you wanted to, put some little leaves right there.
For sure. You can add anything that you want to, but that's
now.
okay. So much for being put on the spot.
Well, I'm just thinking you could actually go off and put a couple leaves like that. And go over to the next one. And you could do it at the same time.
Yeah, you'd be doing it at the same time, so less back travel.
Just to give it a little bit more.
A little flare to fill up that extra space in the clamshell.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Okay, so show me something else you were going to do over here.
Okay, so I'll stay over here instead of drawing it out.
Okay.
But you could do the same thing with this full-on clamshell quilt as well. I have a thing for feathers, so for this one we'll do feathers, and for here we'll do something more geometric, more modern. So I can follow down, just like we did on our original one, my first design, follow down the ditch of your clamshell for this first arc. And then I can come up, and this would help to have a straight line stencil or just mark out a straight line with your straight edge. So I'll take this, mark out a straight line with my straight edge, just have something to center up with. And I can take this and do a little tiny feather plume, come back, a little bit of a bigger one, come back, a little bit of a bigger one, come back, a little bit of a bigger one, come back. Fill up that space nice and large. Come up to the center. If you want to go ahead and give it a stem, travel your way back down your center line, come back, and then you can start with these little tiny ones and then make them larger and larger and larger as you go, and you can fill that up really nice and easy. And I would probably honestly still come back down this stem one more time, just so I have a travel line to get back to my next one on this side. That work for you? Maybe? She's quiet. She left me.
Oh, I was answering questions, sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. So we will come over here. So I'm just going to stitch it over here real quick. So we would start staying in the ditch of our clamshell that we have. You can use any type of ruler that you'd like. If you want to use an arch template, just to kind of follow the same arch of the clamshell, you can. I'm going to use my 6-inch arch for this one. So I'm just going to use that just so I can stay in the ditch.
And depending on your clamshell, we have different size arches. So
Yes.
It's nice.
So I'm going to take this, come up a little bit, and start with a tiny feather, a little bit of a larger one, coming back to that center line that we drew with our straight edge. And I'm just coming up, getting a little bit smaller as I get to the top, coming down with that travel line, and then coming and doing the other side.
Oh, that turned out really good.
Oh, something to fill up the clamshells.
Yeah.
Okay, I can follow back down it again if I would like to. Use any of my templates. I'm going to use my arch template here just so it's easier for me to stay in the ditch. And I can travel all the way over into the next one where I can do something different. Uh-oh.
Super cool.
Uh-oh, whoops. Bring that up so they can see it. The machine was in the way so you couldn't see the final design. So just like that, you can kind of easily fill up those clamshells and work all the way through them.
That'll be super cool. Like, I like that. So let's do, like you said, more of a geometric or fan type one in this one.
Okay. I was thinking about honestly just coming in and doing my own echoes. So echoing them in all the way through.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, let me pull up my thread a little bit because that was a little bit of a disaster, but that's okay.
And we had questions like, could you use these stencils on a domestic machine? And you sure can.
For sure, yeah. It doesn't have to just be a long arm.
So I just said, when you're doing the lines, just pick like the 9-inch stencils. We actually even have a machine starter kit that's just for domestic machines.
Right.
So, okay.
So for this one, I'm just using my hopping foot as a little bit of spacing. Coming down, and I'll just follow in with that.
And if you wanted to, you could use your arch template here too.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You can use your arch template, you can use your hopping foot, whatever you're more comfortable with. And then once you get to the point where you can't go any further, I'm just going to come straight down, use my arch template if I choose, and cruise on over.
That's
next
super
piece.
Cool.
So just a little.
Oh, you had to do
something.
one more in the blue. Let's figure out one more thing.
One more in the blue.
Let's
What else
figure out
would you
another
like to
design.
see?
I don't know. You guys
I can do
tell
some little.
us. Is there
I can do little circles with lines and circles to match polka dots. So they kind of like fan out.
Okay.
You want to do that? Let me go draw it out so they kind of get the idea of what I'm doing, and then I will come over there and play with it.
We're so glad everybody's here watching live with us. It's so fun to see you guys and then ask us questions and fun.
So what I will do is I'm going to start in this section. I will come down, and then I can just come up with one line, and I'm going to do something that Linda calls a texture dot, and that's just a bunch of stitching over one little section. You travel back down that same line and you start a new one. So you come up here, texture, come down, come up, texture, down, up, texture, down. You can do this all the way around it. Fills up that space nicely, gives it a bunch of texture when you add in that circle. Stitch down, and then I would travel on to the next piece. It's pretty cool. So I take that, and now over here at the machine, let's do it. So I'm going to take my machine, and I'm going to start up with a line, curve, texture dot, so a bunch of stitching over it, come back down. Take it up. You can do bigger ones if you'd like to, or smaller ones, whatever you want to do. Down, up, roly, 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 down. And your lines don't have to backtrack right on top of each other. Come down, go up.
It looks like little man antennas, space antennas.
Yeah.
That's cute.
that, and you can travel your stitch in the ditch over to your next one.
Oh, it's super cool.
Look at that, so you can see it.
So I have an idea.
Okay, I like ideas.
So I'm going to have you try it.
Oh, now I'm on the spot. Yay, okay.
So I was thinking in a block, imagine like if you had something in the center, say like an applique. Like what design could you do to kind of put around the block with the clamshell? Can you do something like that?
Like what? They can't see what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I know. Let's go back up there.
All right, so you're talking about if I just had a regular square open block.
Yeah, like say a regular square open block, and if you had like an applique or design in the middle, but you want to fill it in with something, and it could be just very simple too, but something that might be in the book that's really simple.
So you're kind of wanting to frame it, basically.
Yeah,
You want to frame your block.
Yeah,
okay,
so,
yeah.
and it could be something from the front that's really simple, but just to kind of give them an idea how they can use that stencil.
Yeah.
And then frame it.
You can frame it if you'd like that one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Or
So
you do
something,
that.
a simple, nice little simple frame. So we could do this all the way around the inside of our block, but just framing whatever we have in the center. So with our clamshell stencil. So let's walk over to the machine and take a look at my Johnny on the spot type of thing. Let me draw it out real quick.
Oh, you want to draw it out?
Yeah, let me draw it out.
Okay.
Let me draw it out real quick so we have the idea. I'm going to take this just so you have an idea. And I'm going to basically make this square. And if I had this clamshell with my stencil, I can work around this, and this is totally not the right size, but that's okay. It's for y'all to have the idea. But let's say I have this clamshell chalked on here like this. That gives me a nice frame around whatever I have here in the center, so I can work around that applique. So if I didn't want to do a bunch of dense background quilting, I just wanted to give a little bit of a frame to separate the outside of a block from the inner part of the applique. I have that ability to do just that. So over here at the machine, she got me. It's fine, I'll get you back.
I know you will.
I'll get you back. It's fine, I'll get you back. All right, so I'm going to take my stencil, label side down, move my machine out of the way, get my pounce powder, and I will take this and just chalk just like that. And then I'm going to take it up. Now you'll see here that when you go around these corners, it creates this nice little, basically like a pumpkin seed look. And that just gives it a little bit of extra character. So I'm just going to take that up, just like that, just to give me an idea. Just need the following ideas. It's all about the ideas. Take this up, chalk that, come over this way, and chalk this.
Look at there. You
Just
got
like
my idea.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Good.
I got it. So we're going to start here. So S for start, make our way up our line until we get about the middle of the stencil, or middle of the clamshell, excuse me. And then I am going to basically just make a little loop-de-loop, little figure eight if I want. Come out, come back over here and do the same thing again and just kind of frame the block that way all the way around. So I am going to start down here, take a single stitch, pull up my bobbin thread, a few more single stitches to lock it down, and let's see what I can do. So I'll go up our first one, about halfway, we'll come down, do a little figure eight, come over about halfway, come down, do a little figure eight, come over here halfway, come down, do a little figure eight, over here. Now we're going to be going backwards up this section here. And now I got to do a figure eight sideways. Just like that. That way. Right here. Halfway. Figure eight. Come down. Up to this point here. Oh, totally missed that one. Y'all saw that? That's fine. Backtrack a little bit. Figure eight. Oh, that's more of a figure. DNA is what that one was. Take that, come to here, halfway, figure eight, come here, there, halfway, figure eight, this way. Don't forget to do that. Halfway, figure eight, come to this one, halfway. This will be a little bit of a smaller figure eight, and that's okay. There, come to this one. to here halfway, and
just finish what they are. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it gives them an idea how you can actually use the shell to frame it and use the ideas in there to even frame blocks. So you could kind of imagine like a star or some type of applique in the middle and how you're framing all that.
For sure.
So pretty cool.
Love it.
Yes. All righty.
I think that kind of covers.
Yeah, I think so.
What we wanted to look at tonight.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
So let me move our buddy there. There we go. Well, you're gonna move it. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, we hope that kind of helped y'all a little bit, gave you a little bit more inspiration what you can do with the clamshell book and stencil. There are a ton of different design ideas in there.
Yeah.
We touched on maybe a handful.
Yeah, maybe a handful.
Maybe a handful of them.
And we're not perfect. And that's what's fun about this is that when you watch us, we're going to make mistakes. And so it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fun to practice. You're going to make
y'all
mistakes.
saw those Christmas trees last week. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm still not crying myself to sleep. It's fine. But I mean,
that's why we do this.
That's the beauty of freehand. It's just, I mean, it's to show you that as you work on it, as you learn, as you build that muscle memory, sitting here and drawing it and working it through, it really helps in our opinion.
Yeah.
Working through that muscle memory, throwing on some tester fabric to really get that motion going.
Which is why we just throw tester fabric. We were going to show them everything they've learned so far.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Totally forgot about that.
I know. So why he's grabbing the thing of like everything we learned so far. Oh, it's right there.
I kept it close.
Okay. We just thought it'd be fun to kind of show you everything.
So we've already went through our first sampler, 108 inches wide.
Yeah.
Already went through our first sampler.
With you watching us.
So what you learned very first week was background designs and fills. So working with the backgrounds book and working around appliques.
And if you haven't watched these, all these videos are on our channel.
Yep.
Okay.
You learned 9-patch next. So you learned how to do a bunch of. I remember that one.
I know, right? We did really good
on 9-patch. We did good these. This was 9-patch. Working through the 9-patch book 1 and 2. So all the different design ideas you can do for 9 patches, along with inside of a full block. This one was the marquee day, so we working across half square triangles, open blocks, working around a border. We did curvy square next. Curvy square was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Coming in, figuring out different fill ideas for a double wedding ring, different things to do inside, different easy techniques. We did diamond next, so we got to do a bunch of different diamond ideas, working with one little section all the way around, creating a border and then an inner side piece of your diamond inside of a block.
Yeah.
You did straight lines, which was a really fun book. A lot of you liked that one. Using the straight line stencils and the books to create all these different ideas. I did these after the fact. I was having fun one day. But you could do different things like this inside those simple sashings or borders even to come up with cool things. And speaking of borders, we ended up with threads, but we ended with the borders book. So looking at how you can work with different border corner patterns and your freehand abilities to work around a quilt or turning it and quilting through it.
And we tried trees.
Let's not bring up the trees again. I just burn that. Burn the bottom part of that.
Anyway, so we wanted to quickly show you that because there's all those videos that are there for you to watch. So if you're brand new or if you didn't get a chance to watch them, lots of fun, great techniques for you. We're here to help you learn. I'm learning along with you.
Yes.
And so it's fun.
Quick question that has popped up in the comment section. Where can you find the stencils and the books? This is a great question.
Oh, yeah. So you can actually find them on our website, and we should have the...
They pop up right down below.
Yes,
so we're going to be longarmsupplies.net. And if you use the promo code for the books, use the promo code AfterHoursLEQ, you can get 20% off the Pam Clarke books.
And we're doing that so you can get the books and try them out. And also if you want to get them ahead of time, because we always tell you what we're going to do the next week. We're trying to do her whole series first, and we'll always jump into more techniques down the road.
So many more things.
So many different things. So what are we going to do next week, Corey?
So next week we are going to be looking at the circle book. I love the circle. I mean, I love all the books, let's be real. They're all great.
They all have really good stuff in them.
We're going to be looking at the circle book along with the circle, if I can pick it up, stencil.
Yes.
So the circle book and circle stencil. This will teach you a lot of cool ways to make a bunch of different wreath frames basically for quilting, work around maybe a Dresden plate if you wanted to do such things. All sorts of really cool things are in this book.
Yay! All right. I think we've done it.
I think that did it for the night.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Always make sure you give our videos a big thumbs up.
Yep.
And we will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time here at After Hours at Linda's Electric Quilters. Bye.
Bye.